infected. They are slowly making their way to Sandy's dome. And I think he knows that once they start pounding on that glass, they are going to be able to get in.
That's
going to put the crew in serious danger. After that, we get a quick scene with Gary looking at a picture of him and Spongebob, and he's crying because of the loss of his friend, but also because it looks like he's also infected. And judging by how he's looking, I'm assuming that he's on his
got a third eye now.
Last legs. Can we get a rip in the chat?
Wait, last legs? Gary doesn't have legs though. Wait, does he have legs?
For Gary, I feel like this little guy did not deserve to go out.
Yeah, RIP Gary, bro.
In part 4, we see more people have been infected.
Gary be so chill. He don't even be doing nothing to nobody, man. He just be meow, meow, meow. How the fuck he say meow though? He's not even a cat.
With Mrs. Puff, and while it was hard to tell, she was actually a part of the horde of fish that were heading towards Sandy's home. And based on what I'm reading here, it looks like I was right when I said that the infected were going to break through Sandy's dome. But it seems like Miss Puff was actually taken out by Larry during the attack, because if you didn't notice, he was actually hiding out in the dome as well.
I didn't see his big ass.
Plankton is still alive, and of course, he's created
I ain't gonna lie, if Larry gets infected, y'all all cook, bro. He's way too strong.
A exosuit. And honestly, I think as long as this guy stays alive, Bikini Bottom at the very least will have a chance at beating this infection. Because of course, Plankton is one of the smartest people in the series, and he also has
that's kind of true.
To put up a fight. Next, we see Doodle.
Except when it comes to making food, because all of a sudden he's smart enough to do anything, the computer stuff, but when it comes to making food, he sucks. Like, you can't come up with something better than Chum, my nigga.
Bob, and not only has he avoided the infection, but he also has started like a rebellion against King Neptune, and actually managed to overthrow him and become the new king of the sea. And while at first I was surprised by this, I then took a second and remembered that Doodle Bob is kind of OP. He literally has super strength, stamina, and was almost invincible, with his only weakness being either paper or the eraser on that magic pencil. And
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, he was a little OP, but he was so annoying, dude. I hated him.
He's actually holding the magic pencil in his AU. He also has the ability to just straight up erase people, as we saw.
All right, bro. I did not need to see SpongeBob cheeks, bro.
Him do like with SpongeBob's butt crack. And he can also create anything that he can draw.
Oh my god.
So all in all, I suppose he is a pretty powerful foe, and we never know. He may have had allies helping him as well.
Chat, if you got your cheeks out, don't let Doodle Bob around you, bro. He's gonna erase your cheeks.
In the next chapter, we see Sandy and Squidward looking down at Sandy's destroyed home, and Sandy is pissed. But then she gets a message from Plankton telling her to go to the chum bucket because he may have a cure, or at least be on the road to one. They then have a small moment where Plankton asks Sandy what's wrong, and she tells him that her home has been destroyed. And Plankton simply says, cry about it. And honestly, I feel like that was the correct response, considering that she is the reason that they're in this mess to begin with. Now,
that is true, bro. You want to do all these stupid experiments, and now you paying for it.
After talk, we cut over to Plankton, and we see that he actually has Mr. Krabs chained up in the chum bucket.
Oh my gosh.
Best friends always help each other, right? And as of now, I think that Plankton is trying to keep Krabs contained until he can find a cure for him. Because while Plankton...
Okay, he's keeping him safe. I thought he was dead ass locking him up and torturing him or something, bro. I was about to say, play. I didn't know you was on that type of time.
Plankton is usually seen as like a bad character. Whenever there's like a crisis like this, he usually steps up and he's trying to help people. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I ain't gonna lie.
Now in the next chapter, we see Larry, and it seems like he ended up getting separated from Sandy and Squidward. And as he's walking down the street, he sees Squilliam is infected and moving towards him.
Man, fuck Squilliam. He can be infected, bro. He's annoying.
Since Larry has had one of his arms either cut off or ripped off, he uses it as a weapon and cracks William upside the head. And can we just take a moment to...
Okay, that's some aura, I ain't gonna lie, bro. He's like, I lost my arm, but I didn't lose it. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna whack y'all with my arm, my third arm, and my other arm in my pen.
Appreciate how tough you have to beat a person against the head with your own severed arm. I really hope that Larry actually survives in this AU, but this next moment, we actually see this car arrive that has Doodle Bob and his minions riding it, so it's not looking great for him. But as of right now, it seems like they just take Larry as a hostage instead of just outright taking him out. Now, after that, we get to see that the sponge virus has finally made it to the news, and the newscaster fish breaks down the stages of the virus.
I'm surprised the newscaster fish hasn't caught it yet.
Stage 1 is pretty tame, with people just feeling a bit more tired than usual. Stage 2,
basically me every day,
is where the skin of the fish actually starts to dry out and wrinkle up, as if like all the moisture has been sucked out of their body. And then in the final stage, this is where the holes start to appear on their body, and this is where they get this monstrous look about them.
Ew, they look so ugly.
We also learn that this is where their bones become really
low-key. This could be a nice horror game.
Weak, which is why we see Fred's leg breaks here. I also find it kind of ironic that it was his leg that broke first, because Fred is known for this famous line.
My leg!
In episode 8, we get to see that.
Yo, that's a really cool detail they added right there, because, you know what I'm saying? He's like, my leg! Every freaking time.
Larry was indeed captured, and we even see that Bubble Bass has not only survived, but is actually like a knight in Doodlebob's new kingdom. And as Larry has been taken down to the dungeons, he asked Doodlebob how he was able to take down King Neptune by himself, and it turns out that he didn't. We see that he had help from Spongebob, who is from the episode where they discovered fire. Toy Bob is next, and he's from the Spongebob Christmas movie.
What the heck? I do not remember this movie.
Then we have Abrasive Bob from the episode called Abrasive Side.
Oh, that one.
Of course.
Dude, this one was so creepy, dude.
And then, of course, their leader.
He was so mean. The green one?
Then we have Abrasive Bob from the episode called Abrasive Side.
This SpongeBob was so mean,
leader, bro. Doodlebob. And it seems like Doodlebob wants Larry to be his slave, and I'm hoping that Larry ends up fighting them, even if it's definitely going to end in his defeat. I'd rather see him go out in a blaze of glory than to be like chained up.
Yeah, you already lost the arm, bro. Just rip out your third arm and whip him with it.
Next, we see episode 9, and this is where Sandy and Squidward make it back to the Krusty Krab. And it's kind of funny to see that Squidward is missing his old life as a cashier. But the reason that they actually come
Who would have thought Squidward would actually want to work
back here is to see if there's any food left that they can salvage. And it seems while they're looking around, someone is watching them, and I assume that it was Patrick, since the character has like this pinkish color about them. And then we get confirmation of this when we see a flashback where Sandy and SpongeBob are talking, and they see Patrick laying on top of his house. And while we can't actually make out what Sandy is saying, because it's just a bunch of numbers, we can assume that this is when she asked SpongeBob to come be a part of her experiment, and she probably asked Patrick to join as well. But he ended up denying her. And then we see this scene.
Oh, hell no. So Patrick ended up getting infected? Was he like one of the first ones? Oh, shit. Oh, my.
It seems like Patrick has finally remembered.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Patrick looks like the scariest one out of all of them. What the hell? Especially right here. Oh, my gosh. He's so fat.
It seems like Patrick has finally remembered that Sandy is the reason that everyone is infected, and he has gone into a complete rage.
Damn.
We see that he actually tries to eat both Squidward and Sandy, but luckily, Plankton pulls up in his mech, and honestly, I thought that he was going to give Patrick a run for his money. But in the very next chapter, we see that Plankton's mech has been defeated, and now both he and Squidward are in Patrick's grasp.
I ain't gonna lie, who the hell's gonna take out Patrick, bro? He's literally huge.
And right when it looks like Patrick is about to devour them both, we hear SpongeBob laughing in the distance, which causes Patrick to drop them. But before they hit the ground, they're caught by the
that's his best friend.
We also see Mr. Krabs pop up again, and it seems like he's been kind of like lured in by SpongeBob's laughter as well. But as he's leaving, Plankton has this heart-wrenching moment where he's trying to get Krabs to remember who he is, trying to get him to remember his daughter and the life that they've built together. Although part of this beautiful moment,
this would actually be like a really good movie. Why does Squidward have cheeks though? Like
interrupted by Squidward's dump truck right here.
Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
Like, what's up with these butts, bro?
Hella ass.
After that, we see a bunch of infected are actually heading towards SpongeBob's house, as if his laughter is somehow controlling them. And then we see him looking as if he's grown into the wall of his bedroom with a creepy smile on his face. While all that was happening, we see that down in Doodlebob's dungeon, there are fish here having to fight for their lives against regular infected, and also these giant infected fish and like frog monsters that are ripping people in half.
Gosh.
And then we see Abrasive Bob.
Where the fuck did that creature even come from?
Walking over to the cell that is holding
not
King
Abrasive
Neptune.
Bob.
And forgive me if some of my translations are
Bro, holding King Neptune is crazy. Like, isn't he supposed to be the most powerful god or something?
off. I'm not Russian.
In the
but
show?
I think he's basically just mocking Neptune here, saying, look who we have here, the king of the sea, looking pathetic in this cage. Honestly, you look like you lost your kingdom, which is him obviously being
sarcastic. So he's gonna let him like talk to you like that, bro? You're not gonna fight back? You like 24/7.
Since we know that he actually helped Doodlebob defeat him. Then he goes on to say, you've been locked up, humiliated, and now you're forced to listen to me, a handsome guy in a gorgeous coat. And while all
handsome nigga, where?
this boasting is happening, it looks like some kind of witch is looking in on Neptune with her crystal ball.
The hell?
And then we see someone say,
that the girl from Monsters Inc?
I will save you.
Mike was
At
out.
first, I assumed that this was going to be his daughter, Princess Mindy, but this is definitely a male's face. And then I remember that he also has a son named Triton, and I'm pretty sure he started out as an antagonist, but eventually he became like really close with his father. So it's possible that Triton is going to try to save his father, and with the two of them working together, I think they will be able to take down Doodle Bob